following this book as your textbook, Heat and Thermodynamics. This is written in your syllabus also by Szymanski. Szymanski spelling, maybe I have written it wrong. It is single Z-E. Yes, it is single E. So Heat and Thermodynamics by Szymanski. This is your textbook. By textbook, what I mean is you have to read from this book. But to prepare my lecture, I'll be reading from 2-3 different books. One of those books is book of thermal physics by Blundell and Blundell. I'll be using this book to prepare a few of my lectures, and this book, it is wonderful book, wonderful book. So I I request you guys to please download PDF. I think the version is available on the net. Please download PDF of this book from the internet or find it from your friends. It is a wonderful book, Thermal Physics by Blundell and Blundell, and you can study this study from this book very much. It is a wonderful book. So I'll be using this as my reference book. No, you guys, if you don't want to read this book, it is okay. You guys, after each and every one of my lectures, you guys should be able to read this book. This is what my motive is. You guys should be able to read this book. I hope all of you has a copy of this book or a PDF copy of this book in your device, and you must be able to read this book after each and every class of mine. So my classes will support this book, and this book will support my classes. I won't be covering directly everything from the book, and both of us will be having our own way of telling the things, but eventually my purpose is that you must be understanding what is written there in the book. So after each and every class, try to read the same topic from Szymanski. That is what my purpose is going to be. Ask me doubts on the next day if you have any. So for thermodynamics, this is the list, both the books, and of course, if your basic thermodynamics is really weak, if you don't feel that your thermodynamics is good enough, by basic thermodynamics, I mean the first law of thermodynamics or second law of thermodynamics and all those, try to see the lectures on YouTube by Professor R. Shankar. There are 4 lectures available. Almost each lecture is of 1 hour on the YouTube channel Yale Courses. He's a wonderful professor, Professor R. Shankar. He teaches thermodynamics. If your basic thermodynamics is weak, I won't be able to cover all of your thermodynamics. I'll be continuing from where the sir left off, and sir also is not able to cover the whole part from the actual 11th 12th because we have limitations of time. So if your 11th 12th thermodynamics is weak, if you feel that if your 11th 12th thermodynamics is weak, I highly recommend these 4 lectures. If you'll see these 4 lectures, then try to come to my lectures. I hope that you will be getting almost everything that you want to understand. Okay. But if you think that your basic is almost clear, then you don't need to attend these lectures. You can just directly attend my lectures and read Szymanski. Okay. So this is also recommended. Try to make notes in this lecture or take screenshots in this lectures because I won't be sharing these notes with you. So try to take screenshots or at least make notes. Yes. On YouTube, there is this available. And now we'll be moving forward with our actual subject. What is thermodynamics? It is just going to be a recap class. So I want your full participation in this class because this class will run for almost 25 more minutes. So I want your full participation in this class. What is thermodynamics? What do you think about thermodynamics? I want at least 3 or 4 answers, maybe. From different fields, it would be better if it can be from, and you can answer in Gujarati, English, Hindi. I understand all 3 languages, so don't hesitate to answer. You can answer in any language. What is thermodynamics? What is your thoughts on thermodynamics? Apart from it is boring, what are your thoughts on thermodynamics? Yes. Yes, yes, you can speak. No need to raise your hand. Speak directly.
Excuse me.
Yes, yes.
In my opinion, it is in very basic terms, study of energy.
On very basic terms, study of
Study.
energy. Yes, yes.
Ha.
A very good definition. Study of energy. Yes, I am just asking for your understanding of thermodynamics. I am not asking for the correct understanding of thermodynamics. I am just asking of what is your understanding when you hear this word thermodynamics. One answer is, which is very good, is a study of energy on very basic terms. Yes, it is very good answer. Other
Sir,
answers? Yes, yes.
according to me, it is a relation between heat and other forms of energy.
Okay, it is what relation between heat and other forms of energy?
Okay, the other definition could be that it is a branch of physics which deals with specifically the modes of transfer of energy and all that.
Okay, modes of transfer of energy. One answer was it is the relation between heat and other forms of energy. Other answer is branch of physics which deals with transport of energy. If I am putting it right, Arnab?
Yes.
Yes.
Please,
Yes. Okay. Any else definition? Every definition is correct. Each and every definition is correct. So I want some more definitions of your own versions of thermodynamics. What you understood when you heard the word thermodynamics. When I heard the word thermodynamics, it came to me as two different words. One is thermo, other is dynamics. So because of the thermo, which is temperature, which is kind of related to the temperature, and temperature in a way related to the energy, because of some temperature, the particles start doing some motion, and that motion is related with dynamics of these particles. So because of temperature, mainly because of temperature, the dynamics of the particle because of temperature, I used to understand it like this. So this is my version of understanding, that because of temperature, the dynamics of the particles is called thermodynamics. Yes, any more other definitions? Because each and every definition here is correct, including mine, including all of yours, because it is our understanding of the word thermodynamics. We are not going on to the proper Googled definition of thermodynamics. We are just trying to understand. Any more answers? In any language you are comfortable with? Okay. So yes, in thermodynamics, what is our purpose is, it is a study of energy. Yes, very good. And this point, the study of energy, is very really correlated with this part. It is the relation, it somehow shows us the relation between heat and the other forms of energy. And this answer is also correlated with this part, because heat is nothing but the flowing energy, flow of energy. So it deals with the transport of energy. All three answers and my answer, because temperature is also energy, and because of energy something starts moving. So motion of those particles is equivalent to the motion of the energy. So all those four answers are equivalent. So in our word, thermodynamics is some kind of study of energy. Yes, this is the most compact definition. All these definitions are correct. Study of energy. Yes, but study of energy of what? That is what our question is. Study of energy of what? Which system? Thermodynamics can be study of energy of any system. Any system. I'm sorry for my English and the spellings and speaking, because I'm learning it. So maybe you'll get better at it once the course ends. Yes. Thermodynamics. Yes. Thermodynamics is study of heat, basically. And what does the word heat means? I want to know your version of answer for the word heat. What is your intuitive understanding about heat?
Well, in my opinion, it is well, how it is defined is the form of energy which produces a sensation of warmth, the feeling of warmth.
Feeling of bomb.
Warm,
Yes, the atomic bomb and nuclear bomb, kind of.
not warm, it's warm, WARM, warm.
Okay, warm.
Warm.
Yes, warm. Sorry, I'm sorry. Yes, warm. The energy which gives us the feeling of warmness, or the warmth. Yes, warmth. Yes. So feeling of warmth is associated with heat, and feeling of warmth is associated with heat. But in more physics language, physicist language, how do you define heat? Heat you can define as the transfer. I'll write trans as this, x and dash. It is transfer of energy. Heat is a transfer of energy due to temperature gradient. What is temperature gradient? Difference of temperatures, nothing else. Because of difference of temperatures, the energy flows from one point to the other point, and that is nothing but heat. Okay, so there are three branches which deals with the study of heat, actually deals with the transfer of energy due to temperature gradient. One of those branches is thermodynamics, other branch is called kinetic theory, and there is third branch called statistical mechanics. We are going to be studying this branch, thermodynamics. Okay, heat is transfer of energy due to temperature gradient, and we are going to study a lot of heat. We are going to listen to this word a lot more number of times in this course. So I hope you have got your basics covered for these words. And if you haven't got those basics covered, I again recommend lectures by Professor R. Shankar. Okay, this is heat, transfer of energy due to temperature gradient. Now, I want to ask a simple question. What do we do in thermodynamics? What do we do? What is our general purpose in thermodynamics? Or in physics, what is our purpose? Why should we study thermodynamics at the first place? What is our purpose of studying thermodynamics? Can anybody tell me? Which are the variables you... Yes, somebody was answering.
To understand these mode of transfers and how energy flows, to understand all that.
Yes, so we want to understand how does the energy flows, and we want to understand this mode of transport. Yes, but yes, this is one answer.
We can use this understanding of our nature in order to manipulate them into using them practically for practical purposes.
Yes, so here we are trying to understand these things, and then we are giving it to the engineering people, and they are going to make something out of it from our understanding. So this is how the science goes. We understand something, we give it to, we give this understanding to the engineering students, and then those researchers make something which is practically applicable to this mankind. Okay, this is one way to look at it. In general, we study in thermodynamics four different states: solid, liquid, gas, and plasma. We study all these things, all these states using thermodynamics. In general, I use the word state. What do we mean by the word state? We use thermodynamics to study all four states. Actually, there are five, but we use it for fifth state as well. We use thermodynamics to study these states. What is the meaning of the word state? What comes in your mind when you hear this word state?
The condition the substance is in.
Yes, very good. The condition the substance is in. The condition of the substance. Yes, condition of the substance. Yes, very good. So if you have seen my lecture on the recap of statistical mechanics, you would have understood that if in physics, our main primary purpose is knowing the state of the particle. It is our primary purpose. I also advise you to go to that lecture also to understand the proper meaning of state. But it means the condition of substance, definitely. But by knowing the state in physics, all we are interested in is knowing the state of the different particles. Knowing the state of different particles. And by knowing the state of different particles, what is our purpose? Our purpose is to know everything there has to be known about that particle. It means if we know the state of the earth, then we know that after every 365.25 days, it comes to its initial position. If we know the state of some asteroid, then we can know that whether it will collide our earth or not. We know everything about that asteroid if we know the state of the asteroid. Mathematically, for a particle, the state is defined by this, its position as a function of time. From this, you can know everything about the system. If you know a position as a function of time of any particle, what you can do is you can take the time derivative of this position, and from here you can find out so many things. Dx by dt means velocity. If you multiply mass with velocity at any time, you will get the momentum. From momentum, you will get p square by 2m means kinetic energy. Generally, the potentials are position dependent generally. So from here you get the potential energy. From here you get the kinetic energy. From potential energy you get the force on the particle, or if from here you want to go, you can take another time derivative, d square x by dt square. You multiply it with mass, you get the force on the particle. From force also you can go to potential energy. So if you know x of t, you know everything there has to be known about the particle, about a classical particle. So similarly in quantum mechanics, I'm sure you have learned quantum mechanics either in your chemistry or in your physics, but in your quantum mechanics, the state is defined by psi of xt. This is called a wave function. If you know the wave function, you can know everything there has to be known about that quantum particle. So this is called state. This is also called state for a classical particle. Classical particle means a big particle compared to something. I'll be sending you an article, what does a particle mean, on your Moodle. So I think you can have fairly intuitive understanding about the particle after reading that. Yes. So many things, but particle means particle. Your simple understanding about the particle was correct, actually correct. And this is for quantum particles, which are small particles like electron, proton, and all those neutron and very small particles. Yes, so that is the state for quantum particles. That is the state for classical particles. Our main purpose in physics is to know the state of the system. And what we want to do is, we want to know the state of the system, any system. In thermodynamics, we generally talk about a box in which there is some gas. This is what we generally talk about, a box in which there is some gas present. Now we want to know the state of this gas. What should be the parameters I should be knowing to know the exact everything about this gas? So there are few parameters that I should be knowing to know everything about that gas. If this gas is ideal gas, let us say. What do we mean by ideal gas? By ideal gas, we mean normal gas at low density. This is how you create ideal gas. Ideal gas is ideal because you can't create it in laboratory, but this is a good approximation for ideal gas. This is a good approximation for ideal gas. What do I mean by ideal gas? The gas in which all the particles are not interacting is called ideal gas. Means they are not talking to each other in any manner possible. Means this particle will be moving on its own and this particle will be moving on its own. They won't be attracting each other. They won't be repelling each other. They won't be applying any force on each other. Both of those particles won't be applying any force on each other, and that is true with all the particles. So ideal gas is ideally non-interacting, but you won't find anything which is non-interacting because at least gravity is there, always present. So you can consider normal gas at low density and low temperature as a very good approximation for ideal gas. So in general, if we take ideal gas in this box, then if we know its pressure and volume, we know PV equal to nRT, and by that we know the temperature of the gas. And if we know these three things, from temperature we know the internal energy, which is 3/2 kBT. And from internal energy we can calculate so many things. From temperature, from internal energy we can calculate the work done on the gas, and we can calculate the heat transferred on the gas using first law of thermodynamics. I mean, we can calculate everything there has to be known if we know these two parameters about the gas. And that's why this equation is called equation of state. It relates some variables with other variable. it is called equation of state. And if you know pressure and volume, then you can find out temperature. But if you know pressure and temperature, then you can also find out volume. If you know volume and temperature, you can find out pressure. So all these variables represent a particular state, and that's why they are called state variables. So pressure, volume, temperature are called state variables, and since energy is also directly related to temperature, it is also called state variable. You also studied something in the previous module of this unit, which is called entropy. It is also a state variable. So all these guys are state variables, and I am not speaking this just because I want to tell you. We'll be using these things in our tomorrow's class. So these are the state variables. Okay, these are the state variables. Yes. So ideal gas is equivalent to normal gas at low density, which is good approximation. They are non-interacting, and this is equation of state. And we as a physicist are always interested in the equation of state. These are thermodynamic state variables. What they do is they represent, if we want to see the gas from outside the box, these guys represent the complete state of the box. They tell us everything there has to be known about this box. So we know the state of the gas if we know these variables. They have some interconnected relations also with each other. So they all are state variables. Okay. Yes. Yes. Doubt?
If ideal gases are not interacting,
Yes.
so the mean free path of the particles will be infinite, right?
No. They are non-interacting means there is no potential which is allowing them to interact, but there can be some temperature. Because of temperature, they can be moving, and since they'll be moving, they'll be colliding with each other because of temperature. So mean free path should depend on the temperature for ideal gas in some way or the other, but it should depend on the temperature.
So here what we mean by non-interacting?
We mean by non-interacting that they are not applying any force on them, on each other. That's what we mean by non-interacting. They are not applying any force until and unless they are colliding. Until and unless at the time of collision only they are applying force to each other. This is the time of collision. Now this will move in this way. This will move in this way. So at the time of collision only, they will be applying force on each other. Other than that, there will be no force. Just after the collision, they are free of all the forces. That's what we mean by non-interacting. Yes. I hope it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes. If you really understand it, then only you all have the freedom to disagree with me. Everybody has the freedom. Okay. So if you don't understand something, you can, yes, disagree with me that yes, I still don't understand. Maybe I'll try to put it in some other way. Okay. So by non-interacting, I mean that they are not applying any forces. Interaction, what do I mean by interaction is there is some kind of potential present, like gravitational potential or electric potential. There is some kind of potential present which attracts or repels other particles. And because of this potential only, there is some force on this other particles due to this particle. If we keep a charge plus Q, if we keep a charge minus Q here, they both will be interacting. Because of the potential produced by this guy, the potential will still be here, so it will attract this negative Q guy. Because of this potential, they are interacting. They are talking with each other. By interacting means they are talking with each other. But if I say that some of you might still be texting in WhatsApp right now, talking about something else, so they are interacting with some other people right now. So that is called interaction. But since these guys are not interacting, that means they are not talking with each other. Means there is no potential which tells them to come closer or go away. So there is no force apart from the time when there is a collision, and that collision is only because of the temperature. Yes. If somebody of you don't know what mean free path is, between two collisions, the particle moves freely, and between two collisions, here the particle collided with one particle, and then that same particle kept on moving, and then it collided with other particle. Between those two collisions, the particle moved freely, and that path is called mean free path. We are using the word mean because all the particles have different free paths, so we are taking mean of all those free paths, That is why it is called mean free path. Yes. So this is thermodynamics and thermodynamical state variable. Now I just want to just recap one more concept, which is known as the internal energy. What do you think about internal energy? I just want to ask one question, then you reply. There is a box. In this, ideal gas is present. Okay. This gas is at some temperature T, and because of the temperature, all the molecules are moving. Okay. And you put this whole box on the wheels, and you move this wheel at some constant velocity v. Now, because these particles inside the box has energy because of two motions. One is because of its thermal motion, and one is because of its external motion, which is given by external force. It has some velocity as a function of time, or it has some acceleration. We are pulling it, so it has some acceleration. Yes, it has some acceleration. So it has energy because of two reasons. One is because of this force, and one is because of this temperature. Which one do you think is internal energy of this system, of this ideal gas molecules?
So the one that is inside the box.
That is inside the box, which is because of why they are moving inside the box. Actually, they are moving inside the box, and due to the box as a whole is also moving, they are also moving in this direction. So they are moving in actually two different directions. So in their motion inside the box is because of temperature only, and that's what you are saying is the internal energy. Okay, is anybody disagreeing with him?
Sir, I just wanted to ask this once again. That
Yes.
are we going to determine the internal energy of the system or the gas?
Or ideal gas, take ideal gas as the system. Just
Alright.
gas.
So in that
Yes.
case, if we are only going to determine the internal energy of the ideal gas, I guess I can agree with him.
Okay, you are agreeing with him. Is there anybody who is disagreeing?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
The internal energy will be due to both of the thing, the temperature as well as the velocity in which
Okay.
gas is kept.
Which is there? Yes. Okay. So and you are saying that internal energy is because of both of them. Now it's time to break the myth. Yes. So one of both of you is incorrect, obviously. So actually, the internal energy means the energy which the system has internally without interacting with any of its neighborhood. If you keep the system at stand on the still stand also, it has the same amount of internal energy. If you move the system also, it will have the same amount of internal energy. Now I think some of you can reconsider your answer. Internal energy is just a property of the system. It is the internal property of the system. And if I consider the gas inside this box as a system, even if you move the box or do not move the box, the internal energy should remain the same. It is the internal property, not dependent on any external parameters like external force or anything. Yes. So now do you want to reconsider, any one of you want to reconsider your answer?
Sir,
Yes.
so
Yes.
I have a doubt, sir. How do we define internal energy in proper terms?
In proper terms, okay. For that, I might have to also look the book. You can see, I think, Google. I don't know in proper language terms, but for me, internal energy is the energy that the system has internally because of the total kinetic energy, internal total kinetic energy of all the molecules, all the particles, plus total potential energy of all the particles is total internal energy. This is total internal energy. So there are few particles, somewhere around 10 to the power 23 particles. So this is, I'm just giving you the understanding. I don't know the full correct definition word by word, but this is the actual understanding of internal energy. I'll bring you the definition tomorrow. So I'll try to
No,
bring.
sir, I was asking this thing only, that what is the basic concept behind the internal energy?
Internal energy.
So, sir, this is what I want.
Okay, thank you. Yes, then this is the answer. Yes.
Yes.
Thank
Thank you, sir.
So all the molecules does have some kinetic energy because of the temperature. We know that from our kinetic theory of gases 11 standard, that for each molecule moving in 3 dimension does have 3.5 kBt kinetic energy. For each molecule does have 3.5 kBt kinetic energy at every temperature T. At every temperature T. Okay. Now,
Sir.
yes.
Sir, don't you think that this contradicts as what you said, because the motion of the container will affect the motion of the particle?
Yes, but total internal kinetic energy of all the particles. It is not about the external parameter. That's why I am calling it internal energy. Even if the system is at rest, it should have that much amount of energy. Internal energy should not change when we move the system as a whole. You can move individual particles and change the kinetic energy of each and every particle. That is possible, but you can't move. You can't change the internal energy by moving the system as a whole, because then all of the particles has the kinetic energy.
Sir,
So by this I mean the total kinetic energy dependent on temperature only. Total thermal kinetic energy.
Okay, sir, I have a doubt.
Yes.
Are we saying that the internal energy basically is something like we measure it initially at the initial stage of the system, and we have this sum of energy of all the particles in the system, and that is the total internal energy. And does it constant? Is that what we are trying to imply?
No. If we change the temperature, the internal energy does change. So it is just only dependent upon the temperature, not on anything else, not on any external parameters. Just if the temperature changes, that means the state of the system is changing. Just as I defined, P, V, T are all state variables. If temperature is changing, that means either P or V or something is changing. State of the system is changing. If the state of the system is changing by any means, internal energy is changing. But if state of the system changing means a pressure change increases and volume decreases, so in and out temperature remains constant, then internal energy also should remain constant. Internal energy is a parameter which only depends on temperature.
All right, sir.
Okay, so it is the total thermal kinetic energy of all the particles. It is not about this. Yes, Yash, I think you asked. It is not about the kinetic energy due to any external motion. It is due to its internal degree of freedom. That is because of thermal motion. If you increase the temperature, all the particles will try to move, and that is because of only the temperature, and that's what we are going to consider. And in ideal gas, there is no potential between all these particles. So the total potential energy in case of ideal gas is 0, but internal energy ideally should be total thermal kinetic energy plus total potential energy due to the system of particles. And it only depends on temperature, nothing else. If temperature is changed, the internal energy will change. If temperature kept constant, internal energy is constant. That's what it is. Because kinetic energy will be constant if temperature is constant. Yes?
Sir, we defined here internal energy very clearly. So, will you please define what is external energy, which so that confusion may be more.
Yes. So external energy, by external energy, I mean that if you have a box or something like this, this is a glass of water, okay. So all the molecules of the water inside are moving. So if I am holding it still in my hands, they have some internal energy because of the room temperature. All the molecules in the water have some internal energy because they are jiggling around because of the temperature. Now what happens is, if I move this glass, I am supplying some external energy to move all the particles. That is the external energy that is applied externally to the system, from outside of the system. It is not the inside energy of the system. It is applied externally onto the system. So that is the external energy. This force depicts the external energy in this example, where we are moving the whole system of gas. This is our system, this box. I want to again plot. This guy is our system. Now this guy is our system. Now we are anything that is being done on the system, any energy that is applied from the system from the outside is called external energy. That's what I want to mean by external energy.
Sir, here, if you can clear another doubt, that
yes.
Any amount of work done on the system, like externally, of course, applying an external force that does some work on the system, and consequently increases the temperature, which will affect the internal energy.
Yes. So that is, yes, that is different way, because in that you have studied this kind of systems where the gas is inside a piston cylinder, and you are supplying some heat from the downstairs. So this piston moves. You have studied, I think, this example. This piston moves means the temperature somehow changes of this system, and then you can obviously change the internal energy of the system. That means that you are doing work on the system, not you are moving the system or something. If you can do work on the system, then you definitely change its internal energy. But if you are not doing work on the system, you're just moving all the particles, it won't change its internal energy. Doing work on the system will increase the internal energy.